Yeah.
She ended up being the one that cooks all the food, yeah.
So what do you usually eat? Mexican food as well or other foods?
We don't like every kind of Asian food, and then we like Mexican food, but not a lot of it. Just depends. I mean,
We have an eclectic palate.
we eat just about anything though. We like Indian food. The kids don't so much. That's more spicy, but they'll eat just about anything. We pretty much.
Mateo loves sashimi,
Yeah.
sushi,
Oh,
raw
Just,
sushi, raw fish.
really?
Yeah, he loves
Just
it.
like that?
He'll put it in his mouth and he'll lick it and play with like it was like a lappy taffy or something like that.
Wow.
And then he'll chew it after. He likes the texture of food. He likes to taste it.
James's dad grew or not grew up. He was a chef before, and he's retired now, and he cooks for us. But so Mateo tries lots of different foods and whatnot, and so he's pretty adventurous with what he'll.
But our younger one
Eat.
isn't.
Yeah.
He likes hot dogs.
Yeah.
My son is just learning to refuse food. It's not a pleasure. He's just
Yeah.
spitting everything out.
Yeah.
You have to hide all the things and stuff. It's kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
So, so you both grew up here, you said.
Yes.
Okay.
She grew up in Orange County though. I grew up in LA County.
Okay. And there were not many Asians there, and not many Chinese here too.
Well, as an adult, I mean, as you know, from like probably up to third grade, it was pretty diverse. It was like white Mexican. It was South Long Beach, right?
Mhm.
It was right by the university.
Mm.
Our neighbors are mostly affluent, white neighbors.
Mm.
And then we were kind of like, other than the Hawaiians that lived across the street, we were the only other Asians
Oh, wow.
on the block. And I would go around and play with all the kids in the neighborhood, not thinking we were different by any way.
Mm. Oh, wow. That's nice. And your parents, they were teaching at university? Or?
No, my parents owned a restaurant,
Oh,
so it was a
right,
family
right,
business.
right,
So
right.
they were never home.
Oh, right.
It was back in the day where, if I was my son's age right now, he would come home and he'd lock himself in the house, turn on the TV, do his homework until his parents came home, or someone came home at 5 or 6 o'clock.
Wow.
So these days that's called neglect, but back in the day that's what
That's how it was?
that's how it was.
Wow. So you kind of, and your sister is younger? Or?
My sister is 5 years younger than me, or 4.5 years
Oh,
younger than
that's a
me.
big difference. So you took care of her when she was young as well.
No,
Your
by the time
grandparents.
we moved out when I was like 6 or 7, and that's when my grandparents moved in.
Boys,
Oh, okay.
But Hyro, please go back upstairs.
wait till we're done, okay?
Thank you. No,
you
not
don't
until
have
you
any
get
clothes
dressed.
on. I don't.
So my grandparents moved in with me, and then they took care of my sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
When you were older. Yeah.
when I was a little bit older. So when I was 8 or 9, Dad lived with us.
And your grandparents, did they speak any English?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, my grandmother speaks better English than anyone in my family.
How come is that? How is that?
Well, and conversely, my grandfather speaks the worst English out of everyone in my family.
That's so weird.
Okay. So my grandmother, she's from Hong Kong. So in Hong Kong was, occupied by the British.
Right. Okay.
So she learned her English over there.
Oh, that makes sense.
And when she moved here, her first occupation was like a house nanny, for a Texas family. Texas family. So she learned how to cook, bake chicken, do steaks, bake potatoes, make apple pie.
That is really interesting.
So growing up, I had meat and potatoes.
Wow.
But, ironically, my dad was a Chinese chef. But he was never home. Chef hours, work hours were like 11 to 11 at night. So I never saw my parents.
Yeah, that's like this research I do here, I compared with the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Like I did collected also data there, and there most of the parents work in restaurants, and
Yeah.
most of the Chinese work in restaurants. Because most of them are
Yeah.
from Hong Kong as well.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
We have Dutch blood in our family too.
You do?
Yeah.
How is that? And you too. You
Yeah.
just
So that's
Oh,
My I would say great great grandmother. My great great grandmother was Dutch.
That was our coloniality.
That was the reason why we helped
So
each other.
I thought that was strange because that must have been like mid to early 1800s, right?
Wait, so that your great great grandmother was in China or something?
She must have been in Taiwan. I don't know what happened. Maybe her parents spilled some wine on some rich family's, shirt, and they said, "Hey, you know what?"
Wow, yeah.
I
don't really know the story. Yeah.
I would really like to find out what that story is.
It is interesting.
But my grandfather had 9 brothers.
9 brothers.
He had 9 brothers. So his dad was not his biological father.
You have lights in your t-shirt.
Yeah.
I've never seen a t-shirt of this light.
Careful.
That's a very interesting family story.
Oh, careful! There's a bottle of water. It's open.
He was saying they had so many brothers and sisters, the grandfather, and so I guess the brother did
His
not
dad's
have
brother, his uncle,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
didn't have any sons.
Mm-hmm.
So and
they let him go and live with
And
the
his- and
uncle and grow up with him instead.
So he would have a
So
son
he'd have a son.
yeah.
Yeah.
because of the inheritance and stuff.
Yeah.
That's right. Because it can go to women. That's interesting. Never heard. I knew about that it happened, but I never heard that.
Yeah, so that happened in our family.
It's an interesting how family history. Like if you really
Yeah.
start to dig it into it.
Yeah.
And this is only like through hearsay. We don't even know the real story, just because I don't think it's been passed down.
Mm-hmm. That's a shame. Huh?
Yeah.
So your grandparents, would they speak English in the house then?
They would speak English to me.
Mm-hmm.
They would speak Taiwanese to each other, and then they would speak Mandarin to other Chinese people in the community.
Oh my goodness.
So my first nanny, she was Cantonese.
Mm.
So my nanny, I learned a little bit of Cantonese just from being around her.
Mhm.
And in our household there was my dad, my mom, his oldest sister, and her husband. They had an arranged marriage. She was from mainland China,
Mhm.
and my aunt, she's from Taiwan. And her husband, my uncle, didn't speak Taiwanese. So when they wanted to talk bad about him, they talked in Taiwanese.
Yeah, of course.
So when they wanted everyone to understand, they spoke Mandarin.
So do you speak any of the languages still?
I'm okay with Mandarin and Taiwanese. I just can't read or write.
And what do you speak now? English?
We speak English at home. It's our primary language here.
I didn't grow up learning Spanish.
In fact, I speak better Spanish than Daniel.
You guys have lots of things confused here.
I took 6 years of Spanish, so
Wow.
on our honeymoon we went to Costa Rica, and I was doing the interpretation.
So why Spanish? Why didn't you take like?
Chinese wasn't offered in my school till my senior year,
Oh, okay.
and I did go to Chinese school
Mm-hmm.
as a kid, and I think I rebelled.
Mm-hmm.
I contested it with my parents because I took them on weekends. I didn't like that that I was at school Monday through Friday, and then I was in school again Saturday and Sunday.
Right. Well, you had to go 2 days.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
So, and then they tried to stick me in piano, and I didn't like that either. So I just every I guess stereotype that my parents tried to force upon me,
Mhm.
I rebelled against every single one of them.
And did it work? Did
Well,
it take you out? And
I'm
how long
okay
did you
with
go to Chinese school?
I only probably 2 or 3 years, maybe that's it.
You have my trunks. You have
Close
my
the door,
trunks.
Maria.
You have my trunks.
To go back and forth to the neighbor's house here.
It's like a frat house.
3 boys or one little
No,
girl?
that's my cousin's son.
Okay.
Yeah, just we picked him up today. Go on. We're done.
So they live close by.
In the next door.
Right here.